In today's news, COVID-19 cases in the British Virgin Islands rises to over 100 cases and one COVID-related death recorded.
Despite having a vaccine mandate, Flow BVI office closed due to detection of 2 positive cases among its management team.
And new travel restrictions by Germany on the United Kingdom and UK overseas territories impacts German passengers on board a cruise vessel berthed in the BVI.
And Virgin Islanders Dr. Patricia Turnbull and Dr. Domnick Frazer awarded BVI UE Alumni Association Pelican Awards.
And we also see Anegada residents now having a proper facility to conduct government business following the completion of the Theodolph Faulkner Admin Building. Viewers, we get to these and more stories when 284 News return.
You value traditions.
Today.
You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kamal Haynes. And viewers, we start today's newscast with some fresh news off the press, where we have seen somewhat of a spike in COVID-19 cases in the British Virgin Islands, with some 109 active cases. Well, viewers, that's 94 additional cases from what was previously reported. So far, it had a total recorded cases of 3,016. And according to the epidemiological report, which was released today, the 22nd of December, the cases, or the majority of the cases, are on Tortola with 96 cases. On Virgin Gorda, there are 13 cases. On Jost Van Dyke, Anegada, and on vessels, there are no reported cases. Well, that brings the total number of cases to 109 in the BVI. And according to the deaths reported, the COVID-related deaths, according to this information, there are now 39 cases of COVID-related deaths recorded in the BVI, which means that there's one additional death recorded from the last report. And also to further break down the analytical information that was provided by the health authorities, according to the information of that 109, on entry screening day 0, there are 8. On entry screening day 7, there are 6. On travel screening, recorded were 20. On contacts of cases, 30. Local cases, 45, which brings that total to 109. Also to note, of the total hospitalized persons, there are 8 persons who are presently hospitalized, viewers.
And viewers, continuing on the local scene as it pertains to COVID and the vaccination, our newsroom has been reliably informed that Flow BVI's flagship store in Rotown at the Ramasco Center has been forced to close due to the detection of 2 positive cases by its management team. Now, earlier this morning, Flow issued a statement on its Facebook page to its stakeholders stating, "To our valued customers and stakeholders, we wish to advise that with immediate effect, our Flow Ramasco retail store is closed until further notice. This is to allow for deep cleaning and sanitization of our store operations. Customers are advised that they are to utilize our virtual retail store services for account and service inquiries or upgrades. Our virtual retail store can be contacted via WhatsApp message at 544-4444. That's between 8:30 and 5:30, Monday through Friday, and also 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. Customers, they said, may also visit the company's website at Flow, British Virgin Islands, discoverflow.co to sign up for services to pay bills or using Flow for FastPay app.com. Now, in details, they continue to say Ramasco, the store again is closed, and we apologize, they say, for any inconvenience caused. Now, viewers, our newsroom reached out to the telecommunications company's communications team, who issued a statement upon our request, following and stating, Flow BVI wishes to inform that 2 members of our management team have tested positive for COVID-19 and have been placed under quarantine as per the guidelines of the Ministry of Health and Social Development. The remaining members of the management team have received negative test results and will restrain from coming into the office. The safety of our employees, their families, our customers is of paramount importance, and the communities is of primary concern. Now, of an abundance of caution, they say, we have closed our offices and store locations until further notice. This is to allow for deep cleaning and sanitization of our Flow Ramasco store and office locations. Now, the statement continued by saying customers are advised to utilize our virtual store services for account and service inquiries or upgrades. Our virtual store, they said, can be contacted once again at 544-4444. Now, they continued at saying Flow apologizes for any inconvenience by this temporary closure of our store, and they thanked their customers for the public for their continued cooperation. Now, viewers, recently Flow BVI's employees protested based on the recently implemented vaccine mandate by the company, not only in the BVI but across the region and internationally as well, that prohibited locals from entering the company's premises because they were not vaccinated. Of course, we continue to keep you posted on this story, and more details will become available.
Indeed, Rona, obviously we would have seen with this particular story, we see cases continue to rise in the BVI, but we must also note that it's not only happening in the BVI, it's happening all over the world, especially United Kingdom, where cases would have resurged to well over tens of thousands of cases for the first time since there was somewhat of a stagnant surge of cases, and now we see the Omicron, that's how you pronounce it, the Omicron variant of the virus basically causing a lot of damage, and a lot of persons now having to obviously go for the third, second, and fourth booster in some cases. So viewers, so that we move on, we see COVID-19 still affecting here in the territory, where the recent travel restrictions placed by the Federal Republic of Germany on the United Kingdom and British overseas territories has affected the German passengers aboard today's cruise ship Costa Deliziosa, which was berthed in the British Virgin Islands. Well, following the resurgence of positive COVID-19 cases in the United Kingdom, Germany's government added the UK to its areas of variants of concern list on Monday, December 20th. Once on this list, it means that all persons who visited any of the listed countries within a 10-day period upon return to Germany are required to quarantine regardless of vaccination status for a period of 14 days. Well, this new travel requirement directly impacted all German passengers on board today's cruise vessel, preventing them from being able to disembark the vessel to explore the territory. But the BVI Ports Authority confirmed the decision in a statement which was issued on social media today, December 22nd. Well, it read, and I quote, "Well, due to new restrictions by the German government, any traveler who have visited the United Kingdom or British overseas territories within 10 days will have to quarantine for 14 days upon return to Germany. Regrettably, due to this newly implemented restriction, German passengers aboard today's Costa Deliziosa ship will not be disembarking," end quote. Well, in an official document, Germany's Federal Ministry of Health pointed out the following information for travelers entering Germany from areas of variants of concern. What the health authority said, and I quote, "Before departure, please be prepared for your carrier, example airline, to require from you an up-to-date PCR test if you spent time in an area of variants of concern at any time in the 10-day period prior to entry. After your arrival, further PCR testing may be ordered by the health authorities at the airport or at the place of isolation or quarantine. But please be aware of the 14-day quarantine requirement, which also applies to vaccinated and recovered individuals, where the duration of the 14-day quarantine may not be shortened," end quote. Well, due to the new travel restrictions, it is unclear how many passengers were impacted and also how it will affect the BVI's economy. Well, 284 News reached out to the BVI Ports Authority Managing Director for an official comment on the matter, but no response was received prior to the publication of this newscast. Around here again, we also see somewhat of a direct correlation between the upsurge in cases and how it directly impact the BVI, in terms of the overall cases in the BVI may not be to the cases of the United Kingdom, but because of the affiliation to the United Kingdom as a British overseas territory, we see somewhat of a negative impact due to these restrictions that were placed on Germany basically broadly on all British overseas territories.
And one of the things, Kamal, that's interesting when we look at the local situation here in the BVI, many times persons in the community want to single out the BVI and pull us apart, but the truth is a lot of what happens regionally and internationally severely impacts us, particularly now that we have opened our borders and we're now increasing the numbers of visitors that come to the territory. So I do think we need to strategically continue to pay attention, viewers, to the international scene and the COVID situation, particularly as we head into the new year.
Our viewers, up next, Anegada residents now have a proper facility to conduct government business following the completion of the Theodolph Faulkner Admin Building. And Virgin Islanders, Dr. Patricia Turnbull and Dr. Domnick Frazer awarded BVI UE Alumni Association Pelican Awards. But we get to these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Welcome back, viewers. Residents on Anegada now have a proper facility to access a number of government services following the completion of the Theodolph Faulkner Administration Building, which was recently handed over to officials on the sister island. While speaking during the handover ceremony, Premier and Minister of Finance Andrew Foy said it was fitting that the administration building should carry the name of a stalwart who was perhaps one of the territory's most inspiring figures. Well, he added that there were two distinctive features or two distinctive reasons that made the ceremony even more significant.
And the Nova ceremony is very significant for two reasons. The first reason is that we have restored easy access to government services for the people of Anegada. The second reason is that our hard-working public officers now have a comfortable and functional accommodation in which to serve the people of Anegada. Like many of our public and private buildings across the Virgin Islands, the government administration building on Anegada suffered damage in the 2017 hurricanes. The damage was considerable and it affected many of the essential functions of the facility. Restoration of this building was a high priority for your government when we took office in 2019. Not in the least because we understand the difficulties that residents of the sister islands face when it comes to accessing the services they need. One of the things we campaigned on was making sure that no district was left behind. We said that we would ensure that each island gets the attention it deserved, and this has not changed, although COVID.
Well, the leader of government business said he was annoyed when he discovered that the funds for the rehabilitation works to the administration building was approved under the former government, yet nothing was done to have the building restored. Well, he said his government did what needed to be done to get the building fully restored for the people of Anegada.
It bothered me to know when I took office as Premier and Minister of Finance that the funds for the rehabilitation of this building had been secured by the previous government through the Caribbean Development Bank Hurricane Recovery Loan, and it was just sitting down accruing interest instead of being deployed to repair your administration building. So we did what needed to be done, and we got the work done for you, the people of Anegada. We talk about Faulkner all the time, but do we really understand and appreciate what he did for these Virgin Islands? Theodolph H. Faulkner was one of the true heroes of the Virgin Islands, and he remains one of our most inspiring figures. Were it not for Faulkner, these Virgin Islands would not be what it is today. By a simple stand, acting on his conviction Faulkner altered the course of the political, economic, and social development of the Virgin Islands. His actions altered these.
Meanwhile, District Representative Vincent Wheatley commended the contractor No Limit Construction, who completed the rehabilitative works, which included removal of floor, ceiling, and wall tiles, electrical and plumbing works, installation of handrails, repairs to the cistern, and exterior cosmetic works. Well, he said the administration building is just one of the many projects this government has completed in Anegada to date, and revealed that there are other projects to come on stream in the near future.
Those needs. Now we are here today to dedicate this one building, and I must commend the contractor for winning that bid. These things are not, you're not cherry picked to do a job. You go through a very drastic measure of evaluations and bidding and competition. And the person who gets that job, trust me, they deserve it. You got to be through a vigorous process to weed out those who may not have done a perfect job. The contractor, it wasn't Anegadian, but he won that bid fair, transparent, and a balanced process. And that's why we're here today to do this. But we didn't start here. We're not going to stop there, because before we did this building, we also repaired a fire station, all destroyed during the 2017 storms. I remember coming here in 2017 on the helicopter, the military helicopter, and we landed right over there is where we landed at the helicopter, bringing supplies to the people of Anegada, because your supplies were running low at that time. We're here, we're gonna get the roads fixed, we're gonna get the docks sorted out. As we speak right now, we are currently repairing a community center. Another great gentleman, the Emil Dunlop Community Center, the Theodolph Faulkner Administration Building. And we're gonna continue doing these things as we honor our heroes who have done such great things in the past to change the way life was or is as we know it today.
Well, viewers, the administration building houses the district office and police station and was repaired through a partnership between the government of the Virgin Islands and the Recovery and Development Agency, where Theodolph H. Faulkner was a fisherman from Anegada. Following a disagreement with a medical officer regarding his pregnant wife, Faulkner protested and criticized the government of the day. His oratory struck a chord and a movement started, led by community leaders such as Isaac Forsica and Carlton De Castro. A throng of over 1,500 Virgin Islanders marched on the Commissioner's office on the 24th of November 1949 and presented their grievances, which ultimately allowed for the reformation of the Legislative Council.
A beautiful look back at history there, Virgin Islands, and we implore you to keep updated. We're continuing on with a very positive story. Veteran educator, writer, and cultural activist Dr. Patricia Turnbull and medical director of the Emergency Medical Services, Dr. Domnick Frazer, have been awarded the University of the West Indies Alumni Association BVI Pelican Award for 2021. The awards were presented to the two outstanding UE alumni on December 16 at a special ceremony hosted by the UE Alumni Association BVI chapter and the UE Open Campus BVI. Now, the Pelican Award is the highest honor that a University of the West Indies Alumni Association chapter may bestow on a graduate of the university. It is conferred on alumni who have excelled in their chosen fields and have made positive national, regional, and international impact. A Pelican awardee is considered to be a role model for the UE population globally, and in particular for the current cohort of students who are themselves future alumni. Now, Dr. Patricia Turnbull, who matriculated at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus some 50 years ago, this year received the award for professional excellence and outstanding contributions to education. The accomplished author, educator, writer, and researcher in cultural studies is a published author and poet. She is a founding faculty member and former principal lecturer at the H. Lively Stout Community College. Now, her cultural work spans over 40 years of service, support, and collaboration with diverse government agencies, private businesses, NGOs, schools, and individuals and artists in planning and production of a range of creative projects, including the formulation of a BVI cultural policy, facilitating, of course, local history, workshops, and awards, delivering readings, lectures, and presentations on cultural and creative imperative, consultation, and judging of writing contests, calypso competitions, festival parades, editing and promoting local publications, and mounting book exhibitions at home and abroad. Dr. Turnbull has done it all. Now, Dr. Frazer, that is, completed his studies in medicine and surgery at the UE Mona campus in 2005 and was awarded for his professional excellence and outstanding contributions to the field of medicine. He currently serves as Emergency Room Operations Supervisor, clinical lead for the HIV clinic, and has the distinction of being the first medical director of emergency medical services in the territory of the British Virgin Islands. He is the current chairman of the BVI Medical and Dental Council and also serves viewers on several other committees at the BVI Health Services Authority. He is noted for his work in HIV and infectious diseases, especially during the pandemic, a certified assessor for advanced emergency medical technicians. Dr. Frazer is also a certified advanced cardiac life support instructor with the American College of Surgeons and was instrumental in the development of and delivery of the program for the local training of advanced EMTs in collaboration with the H. Laverty Community College and the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs. Now, the awardees were presented by interim president of the UE Alumni Association BVI chapter, Mrs. Desiree Flanders Harrigan, and chair of the UE Open Campus Council, Her Excellency Dr. June Sumer. Dr. Sumer, who is currently in the BVI on assignment of the UNECLAC, was recently elected by the United Nations General Assembly as one of 5 independent expert members of the UN Forum of People of African Descent. Now, in congratulations to the awardees, she highlighted the importance of loyalty and power of the collective, indicating that throughout her career, the University of the West Indies has been in the forefront, opening doors, noting that she has also grew up in the BVI. Dr. Sumer urged UE graduates in the BVI to step forward to contribute to the association as this country has a large number of outstanding UE alumni. She said, "We congratulate the very talented Virgin Islanders, Dr. Patricia Turnbull and Dr. Domnick Frazer, for their outstanding awards, and we congratulate you," and continues to wish UE the very best as they do exceptional work across the region.
Indeed, very obviously that is a top award. It also goes to show that the BVI continues to strive on the international scene when it comes to academic awards, because we do know that the BVI most often strive as well as the sporting scene when it comes to Chiron and Chantal Malone and some of the other athletes. You know, so it's great to hear, you know, that, you know, more persons continue to strive at the top of the top. And
on the note, Kamal, of UE graduates striving to the top, one of our top key professionals within the Virgin Islands, Dr. Marcia Potter, who was the former permanent secretary within the Ministry of Education. I think she is now still within the Ministry of Education, but is serving different capacities, has been instrumental in really taking the Virgin Islands to a different level as it pertains to education and bridging the gap between the University of the West Indies and a lot of the stakeholders in the Caribbean region. So UE has, just not now, but for a long time, been really solidifying its place, and thankfully to the work of Dr. Patricia Turnbull, Dr. Domnick Frazer, and of course that of Dr. Marcia Potter, we are on the map and continuing to do fantastic things.
Indeed. Well, viewers, up next, Honorable Marlon A Penn launches District 8 community newsletter to raise awareness and analyze issues and offer solutions in District 8. Viewers, we get to that story after a word from our sponsors.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangada, Domnick, not forgetting Anegada. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.
Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Continuing on, Leader of the Opposition and Representative for the 8th Electoral District, the Honorable Marlon A Penn has released a District 8 community newsletter for the purpose, he says, of bringing awareness of the issues in community and, of course, in an effort to work together to find solutions to social, mental, physical, and economic issues. In speaking on the publication of the newsletter, the District 8 representative said, and I quote, "As the world faces turbulent times brought on by the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic, my district committee and I believe that it is imperative that we as a people in the East and Longlook community move forward as one people towards one destiny. As communities, we experience the same common problems, the same common struggles, and desire the same basic fulfillments in life. Historically, the East and Longlook communities are intertwined with residents of both districts who over the years have worked hard and continue to do so in an effort to create, empower, and of course maintain a better way of life for the present and future generations." Marlon Penn said, and I quote, "I am encouraging you to be a part of our newsletter as together we bring awareness to some of our root problems, analyze the issues, offer solutions, as well as feature any content that fulfills the purpose of our community newsletters," the Honorable Penn stated. Now, viewers, just so you know, the district community newsletter will be available at the district office located next to the Harborview restaurant in East End, as well as various restaurants, bakeries, and supermarkets within the district. Honorable Marlon A. Penn continues, he says, "To serve District 8 and the territory with pride, leads with confidence, and remains committed," he says, "to building a better community." Kamal, what a beautiful story for us to end on, and I must say that with the East End community, East End Longlook community, 7th and 8th district, of course they have individual representatives, but I'm not sure why a newsletter was not only implemented within such a large district, but in other districts before. I think it's imperative for community leaders to really engage their constituents, their communities, their residents, their visitors, and keep them connected. It does not have to be every week newsletter. It doesn't have to be every 2 weeks, but perhaps monthly. I think it's imperative that they continue to engage. East End Longlook is one of the largest, two of the largest districts within the BVI. And I do hope that the minister and his team can consistently, and making reference, of course, to consistency, because sometimes we start things and then we see it fall off. But I think consistency is important in this era, that we consistently meet the needs and engage the public, and perhaps this is a good way to start.
Indeed, and what it also does is it helps to groom some of the young ones that may be interested in journalism and give them that experience, at a young age, to be able to, learn the ropes and get a grip of what is needed and what, in terms of building and shaping that investigative skills, to be able to complete an article.
And writing articles and research,
and it actually builds to their resume as well. Viewers, we did have a whole set of news today.
We got a lot of stuff for you.
But we just touching back on the top story, just briefly, we have 109 active cases in the territory right now, and hopefully the minister is set to come on and basically give an update to the territory today as well. So viewers, that's all we have for today's newscast. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com, and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye.